Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. I'm just going to do a little video based on things that might be a good idea just to help you along on your journey of mediumship. Might be a good idea to try and either shed, forget about. I talk to many of you, some of my students included in that, about trying to build a new foundation, a new platform, from which to work, and not carry on going down that same route that you have been going down. And obviously it's kind of like starting again, I guess. Now, some of you are that I work with are already quite established in what you do. You've found a way that works for you. You're quite happy with that, which is absolutely fine. Keep going. Don't by any means start again if you feel that you're giving good evidence, you are confident with your connection with spirit, you're happy with that. Just keep working with it. That's fantastic. For those of you that are struggling a little bit, you having trouble maybe just holding on to that connection, you may be having trouble getting any connection at all. To be honest, that could be happening. You're doing plenty of sitting in the power. Not a lot seems to be happening, which is fine. Like I said a number of times to a number of people, you may well think nothing's happening, but you'll be surprised. Spirit can be working with you. You're just not aware of what they're doing, how they're working with you, but there is that blending, that reaching out for you going on in the background, behind the scenes, if you like. It may just be the fact that you are not aware of what's happening. So don't knock yourself. Don't punish yourself thinking you're doing something wrong because you're not sensing anything. It's important you keep going with that sitting in the silence. Okay, I call it sitting in silence. It can be called sitting in the power. It can be called a number of things. And obviously we label this expansion of self as sitting in the power, that reaching out, that asking for spirit to merge with us. So, it's a label at the end of the day. Don't stress yourself out over it and give up all hope of ever making that connection with spirit. You are connected in a natural way anyhow. If you get gut feelings about things, okay, that's coming from somewhere. Okay, so if you're doing something in your life that you've just got a gut feeling isn't correct for you, isn't right, there's a good chance that that message is being relayed to you via the guides, the helpers, family who have passed. Now, there could be a number of beings, if you like, that are trying to tell you something. So listen. Okay, we all have that natural connection with source, with the energy that runs both through us and obviously through spirit, that creative force that's around us all the time. I read a thing which I'll mention. I think it was about a near-death experience, which I've spoken about in the past, and I'll flip over that again quite quickly if you like. Now, near-death experience, okay, is a cushion. Okay, so you are either going to pass or you are not. So if your time's up and it's journey's end, then it will happen. Okay, there may be circumstances that occur where you find yourself. They call it near death. Okay, you're not near death. It's not going to happen. Basically, you are just being cushioned in an atmosphere that is kind of looking after you, kind of making sure that you don't suffer too much. And you may well sense loved ones at that moment because you are out of body. Obviously, your energy is free. And yes, you will experience spirit energy around you. You will know they are there. You may well experience just the atmosphere. In other words, that light, that love, that warmth, you will be drowning in that, if you like, and you will be experiencing that. What you see, if in a religious context, if you like, because people from different cultures experience different things, they will experience different figures. Obviously, Christians say that they met with Jesus, they met with God, and people from other religions will meet their gods, if you like. Okay, you are creating that. It is a cushion. It is the way the soul prepares. So it's not necessarily the fact that you are going to die. You're on your way out. Like I said, it's described as near death. You are not near death. Okay, you are quite a distance from it at that point. You may well have lost, left your body. You may well even be able to see that body on an operating theatre or in a car accident or whatever. You may well experience that. You may well be able to see it simply because you're out of body. So you will be able to look down on that. You will see what's going on. You will hear what's going on. There is still an element of connection there. But going back to what I was saying earlier, the piece of writing that I read was based on somebody's near-death experience, saying that they left Earth and they was told it wasn't their time, and they came back to Earth, which I found very, very strange in a sense, because you never leave Earth. Now, that you may well find very strange. But if I can just explain that, Earth is, as you know, a ball of matter floating around the space as it does, doing what it does daily, and you are part of that. That is where the body is created from. You are, and there's a lot of truth in you are what you eat, because obviously if you didn't eat, okay, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't obviously become an adult from a child. So basically, in simple terms, you are what you eat. So obviously the food that we eat is given to us from Mother Nature, if you like. It's grown, and so we are eating part of what we exist on. So we are part of it in that sense, in a material sense. But in a spiritual sense, in a soul sense, when you experience something like near-death experience, or when you are in fact passing, okay, you are literally just leaving the material body, okay, and by doing so, that material body will remain part of where it came from, and it will go back to where it came from in some way, shape or form, whether you're buried, cremated or whatever. That material still exists and will always exist and become part of other living things as time goes on. So you are part of source that runs through the earth, that runs through the body, that runs through every living thing. You are part of that energy, part of that source. Okay, you do not. Now that source runs through the earth, that source runs through body. You simply become a different vibration of that. So everything around us is a vibration, if you like. Sound, light, everything is vibration. Now we live on a certain vibration. We experience this vibration. And when we leave body, okay, we experience a higher vibration. So all we are doing is increasing vibration. When we pass, we are existing in a different atmosphere, within a different realm. We are experiencing our being in energy that exists in everything we see now. We're not leaving Earth. We are not leaving anything. We are simply experiencing a different atmosphere, a different vibration. Okay, we don't leave Earth behind and go flying off in a rocket somewhere and land on the planet Zorb and exist there. We are not climbing a wall into another dimension. Okay, we are not existing in a different realm of matter. Matter is here now, what we are experiencing now. Okay, that we don't, just because we cannot physically see or hear the other realms, if you like, because we can't physically do that whilst in the body, without expanding self, that inner self, that source that is within us, in an everyday circumstance, if you like, we do not necessarily, maybe now and again, but we do not necessarily experience that higher vibration, because we are wrapped up in this one, dealing with this one, and experiencing within this one. I just found it rather strange how that was described, you know, and I came back to Earth. You never leave Earth, because you are just part of that energy that runs through it. So you're not going away, like I said, and coming back. You will still be part of that same source that runs through it, just out of body. I hope that explains that a bit. A little bit confusing, maybe a little bit too deep, maybe, but I hope I've got that across. So one of the things that I was thinking about at the time was that there are all these perceptions of different things out there that we pick up as we experience life. And it programs us to a certain degree. And as mediums, we have to drop an awful lot of what we have learned over time to be able to experience the communication with energy and spirit around us. Now, obviously, there's an awful lot of perception, an awful lot of things are written, an awful lot of things said, especially on social media, about what people experience and what you should do. You should do it this way, you should do it that way. Okay, and as I was explaining to the lady last night on one of the courses, I was explaining that if you come across something on your journey that fits you and suits you and works for you, it's so important, so important that you keep hold of that, because it is right. Now, if it's working for you, no matter what anyone says, hold on to it. So if you decide in your wisdom to go and attend a course somewhere on mediumship, on psychic, on tarot reading, on whatever you wish to do, then do not ever be told to drop something that you know works for you. And it would be wrong of any teacher to tell you to do that. Now, obviously, if it doesn't work and it doesn't feel right, then obviously it's not right, is it? So you do drop it. It's best to push that to one side and rebuild that platform and work from that again. So that's my basis of the teaching that I do, is to some degree is ask you what works for you, and then I will build your foundation from that single element and work from that to get that connection built for you with spirit. So I had a number of years of being told that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And to be honest, all that did was cause me total confusion. If anything, it did more damage to my progression than anything else did. So don't keep knocking yourself because certain elements that feel so right for you, that you feel comfortable with, but they're not quite working for you. Don't punish yourself and think, well, I'm going to have to drop that and do it the way that I've been told to do it because this isn't working. It may well be the fact that you just have not given yourself time with the sitting in that power, sitting in that energy, in that expansion. It may well work for you, but you must be patient and you must give it time. There are lots of things I hear whilst teaching, lots of things I hear that are outrageous, really, to some degree. So it's important. You are talking here, you are talking about spirit. You are talking about spiritual energy. We are not talking about any religion. Okay? There may well be an element of that within you that you like, that you work with, that you enjoy and feels right for you. That is 100% fine. Okay? Stick with it, work with it if that works for you. But what we need to understand is that all these things that we have had driven into us over the years, some elements of that are not correct. Some elements of that are correct. And it's for you to filter that all out and try and get something that works for you. Don't be told what to drop, but just filter it all out. There may well be elements of all religions. There may be small parts of all religions that fit with you. So if you've ever studied across the religions, you know, a good way of working is to pick out the elements that suit you, fit with you and feel right for you, and use those as your foundation. There, for me personally, like I've said in the past, I believe in the source. I believe in God, the Great Spirit. I can give that energy a number of different labels because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I call it. It's there. So, like I said, I can call it a number of different things. And it's the same with your guides. Guides, like I've said to you before, are not interested in names. Okay? They will learn from you because you will name your guide, believe me. You will name that guide. And all that's important is when you ask by name for that guide to draw close to you, what the most important thing is that they hear you and they come and they work with you. Now, the easiest way of explaining that, and I think I've probably said this before as well, the easiest way of explaining that is that for an energy to be one of guidance, it has experienced many lifetimes. It has experienced many things. That energy would not be in the position it's in if it hadn't experienced. That energy, that guide, again another label, but that guide, okay, would have been known by many different names. You may well see an image of maybe one of them incarnations. You may well see that, you may well sense that, and you may well name that. That is absolutely fine, but we don't want to get too wrapped up in things that are totally irrelevant. There's too much relevance given to so many elements of what we do. Things that are not relevant. And things that I know for sure, energy, spirit energy, that consciousness that exists and flows with source, has little interest in the things that we think are so important in what we do. Now, many people I know are going to scream and shout, and they do. Believe me, I do get that. I'm fine with that, absolutely fine with that. And as I've said before, I can only tell you what I've been told, what I have sensed, what I've been given. I can't change that. I can pretend to. I can make this fit with everybody else's ideas, but then I'm not doing what I aim to do. And I've said it many times, I think, if you find that this doesn't suit you, the way I teach, the way I talk, if you like, if it doesn't suit you, that's fine. That is absolutely fine by me. And I do not question someone else's opinion if it's something that they feel strongly about, it's right for them, that I need to be respectful of that, and I am respectful of that. All I'm trying to do here is to guide those who are quite new at mediumship. I'm trying to change the way it is taught to some degree, and basically give you a good foundation in order to give you every opportunity to sense that spirit around you, that energy of loved ones, to be able to give proof and evidence of life after death. We need to drop the psychic element of mediumship. There's nothing wrong with being psychic at all. It's a wonderful gift, as I've said in the past, and I stand by that. But we need to make that separation very clear, not only to people that are new to mediumship, but to Joe Blogs, the public. The public are totally confused. And as a medium, I've had people ask me about, are their jobs going to be changing in the next 12 months? Will their finances change? Will they meet Mr. Wonderful or Mrs. Wonderful? Well, hopefully Miss Wonderful, not Mrs. But they ask me all these questions, and I always give them the same answer. I can't tell you that. I am not a psychic. I am a medium. For those that are both, fine. But it's not what I do at all. I can tell you within a couple of minutes of watching any demonstration whether it is psychic or whether it is mediumship. And majority of good mediums out there they will know if you've got a connection or not. It's simply by the way you work. It's simply by the energy that you are giving out in a way. And obviously what you're saying. So I think it's important early on that you decide what path you want to take. Are you happy just working psychically and helping people maybe making decisions on life? Should they change their job? Should they move house? If you're happy doing that, then that's fine, do that. But I think what is sad is when people advertise as mediums, or even psychic mediums, if you like, when they advertise the fact that's what they do, and then just purely work on a psychic level with no connection, then to me that's false. And if you're psychic, same as a medium should. If you're psychic, you should explain how you work, that you're working with their energy, okay, and you are working to guide them on life's path. Is there any questions? Do they want to know about work? Do they want to know about their finances? Do they want to? That's fine. And as a medium, you should be able to explain that you are there to make a connection and give evidence and proof of life after death and to pass messages from loved ones within spirit. You are not there unless it is mentioned, unless it comes up. If you are given some information, which happens, I know it happens, where mum in spirit may well say to a daughter, maybe it's time to move, or you're thinking about moving. But as a medium, you should explain. Your mother is explaining to me that she feels maybe it's time for you to move on. You explain that that is where that piece of evidence has come from. And as a psychic, you should explain that this is what I'm getting from your energy. This is what I'm receiving from you and what I sense from you, that maybe it is just time to move on. Now, there is a vast difference, a difference of levels at which you are working. Not any level is better than the other. Don't get me wrong. They are both extremely valuable gifts, if you like. So when I say valuable, it is something that we need, because of its value, to treat with respect, with reverence, and use it in that way. So, it's important that, especially at the beginning of your journey, that you try and start as best you can with a blank canvas. Do not keep absorbing every single thing that you see and hear and told, because you've been doing that all your life anyway. And you will probably already have some negative things floating around in your mind that affect you and may well affect your ability as a medium, that connection as a medium. So try and start, if you can, with that blank canvas. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that once you are happy of that knowing self, you are aware of that soul within you, that light within you, that energy within you, and when you have that awareness of that and the ability to be able to expand that, then as you sit in your silence within that energy, that is your classroom. That is where you sit to learn. And that is where you should take on board all you sense, all you hear, all you see. That's when you should start taking notes. Do not shadow other mediums. Massive mistake. Work how you work, but with respect. Be respectful of that energy, not only your own energy, but the energy of spirit. Spirit do not want to be worshipped. They want this world to believe in them, to be aware of them. They do not want us to be bowing down before them. They are but a part of everything that runs through us and every living thing. They are energies that have experienced life. We do not expect people to bow down before us now, and we shouldn't have to do that for spirit. We are respectful of them, and there are obviously energies that have experienced many lifetimes and many things. So we respect that, and we respect their knowledge and what they teach. They are not interested in us worshipping them at all. The best thing that we can offer them is the fact we acknowledge them. That is the best offering there is. We simply acknowledge their presence. So there's just a few little things, I think, just to help you again on your journey. Just things to chew over and think about. All I'm doing here is just trying to get everyone to think outside of the box. To think outside of all that, sorry to say this, but all that garbage sometimes that is piled upon us as we travel through this lifetime. If man doesn't understand it, then he will make it up, or he'll make something fit to try and understand it. And as I've said in the past, science has its place. It is a wonderful thing. But we need, again, to put it in perspective alongside what we do as mediums, as light workers, as spiritual workers. We need to put it in perspective. Science cannot prove that there is no life after death. Neither can they prove that there isn't. They can't prove there is, they can't prove there isn't. I'm not sure if I got that the wrong way round then, but they can't prove either. What they can prove is how something functions. So, say within the human body, a certain chemical is released, the mind asks that chemical to be released to cause an action, to cause a reaction. There is a force there causing these things to happen. There is an energy there that flows through it. You can't grasp that energy and put it in a test tube and look at it under a microscope. That is not possible. We can see the process happening. We understand how it happens, what causes it to happen. But the energy behind it, the conscious energy behind it, is not something we can just bottle up. There has to be an explanation for everything. Unfortunately, that's how we are made. That's how we are designed. We are looking for explanations. We need to know how, why, when. We need to know that. And obviously there's a good side to that. And the good side being that it helps us maybe cure diseases. It helps us to maybe invent things that make our lives a bit easier. It helps us in all sorts of different ways. But it does not explain that source, that energy. That's one thing. Obviously, consciousness is something that is being studied all the time, but it is still a mystery. And believe me, we will never, ever get to the bottom of that energy source, how it works, where it comes from. We won't ever be able to capture the Great Spirit, if you like, in a test tube and say, I've got a bit of him just here. There it is, we've got it, we've worked it all out. That can never happen. This whole purpose behind this whole world, this classroom of ours, okay, it is, like I said, it is a place where energy enlightens itself, soul enlightens itself through experience. It learns through experience. And by doing so, it progresses It grows and it becomes part of that source, that energy behind source, part of it. We feed it. We feed it by our progression, if you like. We become part of it. But in order to do that, we need to experience, we need to be able to deal with all different aspects of being. And there's just the only way we can do that is by being present in the now, in this moment, and being present within the body. The body is here so that soul can express itself, so it can experience. That's why we are in it. And thankfully we're not stuck in it, but we are here just to experience it and learn from it. And the earth is a perfect platform for doing so. It is a great place to be. It has its beauty, obviously, and it's something that we need to observe and learn from that. There are different elements of the earth itself that we can learn so much from. Nature. How nature, day in, day out, provides for us. How it ticks over season by season, never faulting. That energy that runs through that, causing the seasons, if you like, making things happen, day, night. That energy that flows through it, that same energy that flows through us, the source itself. All we can do to some degree is be thankful for the opportunity of experiencing through our bodies. The experiences that we go through daily, we are learning minute by minute, day by day. We look at them as problems sometimes. Some can be very painful. And we can walk around certain problems and not face them and deal with them as often as we care to. But believe me, the day will come where you will need to deal with it, because the only reason that problem's there is for you to experience it and overcome it. That's the only reason it is there. It is not there to punish you. You haven't done something very, very wrong because that circumstance has happened. It's because the soul needs to experience that circumstance. That's the only reason it's there. Like I said, some of these circumstances, if you like, can be very, very painful. But the day will come when you will realize that that pain that you experienced whilst going through that has given you such knowledge of how to overcome it, that you will be able to guide others with the knowledge that you have gained, and you will be able to help them over that obstacle. Service. How many times have you heard that word within the spiritual movement? The service to others. It didn't just happen to be there. This is a massive part of what we're all about. Not only other human beings, but animal kingdom. We are a service to that. As crazy as it sounds, the way we are with animals and the way we treat them sometimes, there's an awful lot we can learn from them. An awful lot. Anyway, time for me to go. Hope I haven't bored you to tears. Just a little talk, I guess, on some things I understand, what I've learnt. I don't wish to come across as a know-it-all in any way, shape or form. I just wish to share. That is all what this is about. And helping people get rid of some of that rubbish, I guess, some of that baggage that we all pick up on the way. And it's just helping people think outside that box, building that foundation and making that connection with spirit and working with them in a positive, loving way and giving that evidence in a clear, precise way. It'll only do good. So have a lovely evening. Please subscribe. Please like. If you want to pop over to Patreon, by all means pop over onto there, where I keep saying it, don't I, teaching, but it's the guidance. I'm here just to offer some guidance to help you on your journey. That's what it's all about. So enjoy your evening. Thanks again for watching, and I'll speak to you all again very soon. Bye for now.